Thank you everyone for joining. We'll just give it about a minute before we start to kick off. So welcome everyone. Okay, Zane, but if you are joining, feel free to pop in where you're joining from as well. Thanks, Alex, for sharing. Amanda from Boston. Someone else from Dublin. Hi, Frank. I'm dialing in from Dublin as well. Cool. So we might just get started anyway, just with the welcome and agenda. So hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar on leveraging AI for SEO. You're all very welcome. I'm Anna and I manage HubSpot for startups for UK and Ireland. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. This session will be recorded, so you will receive that recording tomorrow. And if you do have questions for me or for Adam or Amanda, please do use the Q&A function instead of the chat, and we'll answer those questions at the end. So as I mentioned, I manage HubSpot for startups for UK and Ireland. So if you do want to, first of all, download a free version of our CRM and get access to some of the public AI tools that we have available, you can scan that QR code there. While you're doing that, just a little bit about HubSpot for startups. So through our program, we offer educational resource and tailored training. So we have a ton of startup resources, and we also do a lot of workshops and webinars based on the topics that resonate with our community. So especially now with all the topics around generative AI and SEO, we thought this would be a great one to go with. We also have an integrated platform for entrepreneurs with access to over 1,000 integrations through our app marketplace. And last but not least, through HubSpot for startups, if you're part of one of our approved partners, you could get access to a discount of between 30 to 90% on HubSpot. So if you want to keep going there, Adam. And just, I won't introduce them, I'll let them introduce themselves, but first up we have our two great speakers for today. So Adam Lewis, who's the founder and solutions architect of BBD Boom. So Adam, I'll just let you give a short introduction on yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. Hi, everybody. Really nice that you've joined us today. So yeah, I've been working in digital marketing for about 20 years. I set up Boom, which is a HubSpot partner, 7 years ago. So I'm going to share a few experiences of our own SEO journey there. When we look after all aspects of HubSpot, lead generation, CRM, websites, all that good stuff. I'm really excited to be talking with Amanda about this subject. I don't have all the answers. I'm going to be sharing some ideas and some experiences. It's such a fast evolving space, AI. So we're trying to today give you some thoughts on what's happening now that you can use today and tomorrow.
Great, thanks, Adam. And also to introduce Amanda, who's a product manager for SEO and content intelligence at HubSpot. And Amanda, if you want to just give a short introduction on yourself as well.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks so much for having me today. I am Amanda Schumacher, and I'm a product manager here at HubSpot. I have been at HubSpot for about 6.5 years. And during my time at HubSpot, I've worked on our technical support team. I've done consulting in our professional services organization. And nowadays, I'm working to make our products amazing for all of our customers. And so my team, Content Intelligence, helped build HubSpot's Content Assistant AI tools and a lot of the other AI tools that you saw launched at Inbound this year. And we also happen to own all of HubSpot's SEO tooling, some of which you'll be seeing today. And I'm calling in from Boston, so thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much, Adam and Amanda. So if you want to just pop on to the next slide. So what are we talking about today? So we'll just follow up with the agenda. So first of all, just to set the scene, we will be going into the essential SEO strategies. The way that we're going to structure the session is we'll start really with the methodology for some of these strategies before we really go into how to augment that with AI. So following that, we'll be going into some AI tools for content creation. then AI tools for on-page SEO, and then we'll wrap up the session with some key takeaways and resources before going into our Q&A. So I think it is over to you, Adam. Thanks very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So just going to tell you a little about the story of Boom, really, in terms of SEO. Where we're at the moment is depending on where you are in the world, and we're doing quite well on certain keywords that we kind of never thought that we would. So things like HubSpot partner, we're on the top. We're actually the second partner after HubSpot when on that subject in the UK, which is kind of amazing to me. And really, organic traffic now for us is the third biggest inbound source of leads. But also, when you do kind of more detailed attribution analysis using things like HubSpot or Google attribution projects, we worked out that actually search is directly or indirectly involved in a quarter of all of our customers that come from inbound. So it's really, really important to us. And this is a chart of organic traffic since we started the business. And as you can see, we didn't really do anything at the beginning, which is a kind of one of those things you regret and you wish you'd done something about it. The reason is we're building a business. So we were a startup. We had 2 people. We didn't have time to think about SEO. And if there was some advice to myself going back in time, I would say just start doing proper SEO at the beginning as opposed to doing it slightly later. Obviously, we do a lot of this for clients, and it's a bit of a cobbler's shoe situation with us. But really, it's not until the last kind of 2 or 3 years that we really kind of put some effort into it. And I think part of that was we didn't really know what to do in relation to our own platform, because as you see along the bottom here are all the different points where there was a major algorithmic change that Google brought out. And it can be really overwhelming, SEO. It's like, oh, Google's now doing this, Google's doing that. And if you spend, my thought on this, if you spend your time thinking about what Google's doing and not just getting on with some basic stuff, you're missing out. And I think that's very much what we learned. And actually, it was really HubSpot that helped us and our clients start to climb that mountain of SEO traffic and generate it. And there's some key things that we started to do. The first thing, we adopted content pillar strategy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. We also then built out a knowledge base, and you can literally plot these things and say, well, what else drove this uptick in organic traffic? It was these things. And then there's consistent blogging, because we had done a bit of blogging, and it wasn't until more recently we've actually consistently done it. We've actually said to ourselves, we need to recycle the webinars, we need to recycle all the knowledge we've got inside our business so that it can actually be seen by Google. So we've been on that journey now, and as I say, I wish that we'd learned this, which is, I think, ultimately, in terms of strategies, and when we go on to talk about the AI tools that enable this, it is actually keep things simple. And really, there's 2 things for us. Content, just focus on the content, make it useful, relevant. And how that is applied is through topic clusters, pillar pages, blogs, and knowledge base. Those are the things that our clients and ourselves are really getting massive traction on. Even in August, there was a big core update on the algorithm, and everyone's going, oh, traffic's gone down and all this. And you can just get so fixated with it. It shouldn't stop you from doing content. And then the other thing is, don't even, unless you're quite sophisticated in all this, I wouldn't even bother with backlinking and kind of sort of the higher end advanced SEO strategies. Just focus on the simple stuff like getting your meta descriptions right, page titles, site speed. The speed that your site loads is obviously a big contributing factor. Schema markup that Amanda's going to talk about, and just fixing errors that some of the tools tell you about. Those are the things that have worked well for us. And which brings us on to topic clusters and pillar pages. So this was something that HubSpot had been pushing for a while and had really started to direct the HubSpot community to do a few years ago. And what does this mean? This means that you need to be thinking about topics and clusters of related topics rather than being fixated on keywords. And I think we'd all been brought up thinking that SEO equals keyword research, keyword optimization, keyword stuffing, all that sort of stuff. And what is a pillar page? I like to think this is, call it a pillar page, but to me, this is like a hub and spoke, right? So in the middle, we've got the pillar, which is the long form content on a specific topic. I'll provide some examples in a minute. The spokes are then the supporting content, and they cluster around that. And I think what Google and HubSpot are pushing us to do is almost to focus on our own internal authority on a subject with our websites. So to think about how we can link things within our website around a pillar that makes sense to users and it makes sense to Google. So rather than being fixated on external links into your site, which are clearly important, but the thing that you can control now and today at no additional cost as such is getting deeper on those topics, getting deeper on those subjects that you care about. An example of what I mean by that. So this is actually something that HubSpot do, and clearly, if you're like me, every time you type something into Google about marketing, HubSpot comes up. So these guys know what they're doing. If you take the pillar here being Instagram marketing, so the idea of like an ultimate guide, and then what you've got around it is supporting content. They might be quite long form pages, they might be blogs, they might be different pieces of and styles of content, but they're all related to each other and they all relate back to that hub and that pillar content. That is what is working for HubSpot. It's what's working for us. It's what's working for our clients. An example of something we've just launched, and I'm really excited to see how it can drive traffic for people that might be moving from Salesforce to HubSpot. Plug is a pillar page here where it's all about the ultimate guide, and we'll be building this out. At the moment, we've got 5 sections to it. Okay, so we've got when to move, why to move, all that sort of stuff. We'll be over the coming months, we'll be building that out. It might have 20 different things, but each of those kind of topics and subjects then links to somewhere else where it's written up in full. Another example would be HubSpot's Ultimate Guide to E-commerce, which is a kind of long form, everything you need to know, but it's linking off to all sorts of blogs that are getting really into subsets of that topic. Inventory management for e-commerce, costing, fixed cost, how you calculate that within the e-commerce environment. So that's a pillar page, that's topic clusters that I think should form the basis of a really strong strategy. But where do you start with this? It's slightly overwhelming. And I think what we've learned and what HubSpot's taught us and what we now teach our clients is that just start with your product, right? Start with your product keywords, then take those product keywords and expand them out into relevant topics, and then use that to start building out that spoke content, the blogs and other bits of content that link back. So identify the product keywords. It's the bottom of the funnel. It's lower traffic, but we know it's the higher intent. It's the traffic we would love to get to our website. B2B SEO software for engineering companies, really specific. So whatever the keywords are and the topics are that relate to your product pages, start there. Then start thinking about what are the topic clusters that might be around that. So if you're selling an SEO tool, the thing that we're talking about today and the thing that people really need to know to use that tool is SEO strategy. If you're building a free form, if you're a software company and you like HubSpot and you have a free form builder software, form builder, well, what else could we use that for? Could that relate to customer surveys, customer insights? Live chat is a technology, but actually that's live chat for customer service. So start there and go upwards in terms of relevance. We're going to talk about the HubSpot tools, but actually don't ever forget that Google just has it there as well, by the way. So if I type in SEO tools right now, if you type it in your browser right now, you'll see all the organic listings, you'll see all the paid listings, but you'll also see people also ask. Okay, you'll see right at the bottom of the page these kind of shortcuts to other content that Google's signposting. So straight away I can see if I sell SEO tools, well, I might be thinking about something around SEO tools for digital marketers. I might be thinking about on-page SEO tools or best SEO tools for beginners, popular SEO tools. It's starting to give me ideas just with one search on Google and to start to go from that product all the way up to potential clusters. And knowledge base. So I think knowledge base is obviously, as consumers, you might have come across knowledge bases where it's how do I, detail about the product I've bought and how I fix it or how I service it and things like that. For us, we've used the knowledge base as a way to, not necessarily that people are going to use it instead of ringing us up instead of service, which lots of our customers do. But for us, it's about just building out content that's going to make us more searchable. And what's really interesting about the content and the knowledge base is it's generally questions and answers, which is quite often exactly what people are typing into Google. How do I get onboarded with HubSpot? How much does it cost? What's involved? What are the timescales? Those are questions that people want to know. And the structure of knowledge bases is you ask, they answer, as it were, to coin a phrase. So have a look at knowledge bases, not just as a service tool, but actually potentially as an SEO tool. So, Amanda, I think I have hopefully given a bit of context to things that we're seeing work with our customers. Is it time to hand over to you to take us through some demos?
I think so.
I'll stop
Thanks,
sharing.
Adam. I'll take over sharing the screen, and now I'll actually jump into the topic clusters tool and inside of HubSpot and give everybody a tour. Just give me one moment to share my screen. All right. Hopefully everybody can see, and let's go ahead and hop on over into HubSpot. So the topic clusters tool within HubSpot lives in the navigation inside of marketing, website, and SEO. Inside of the SEO tools here, you'll see there are 3 tabs. And so the one that you'll be looking for is the one called topics. The topic cluster tool in HubSpot is currently available in Marketing Hub and CMS Hub Pro and Enterprise. So once you're here, what you'll see is a list of all of the existing topic clusters that you've created in this nice table format. And we also have an integration with Google Search Console. So if you connect your Google Search Console account, you'll be able to see Google Search Console metrics. They're not shown here, but you'll be able to see the impressions, average position on search, and click-through rate for your topic clusters as well. So let's say I want to create a brand new topic cluster from scratch. What I would do is I would go and add a topic here. So this is where you may start to think about, okay, what are my bottom of the funnel sort of type of product keywords if you're going to be building out a topic cluster for the first time. If you have some idea of what you might want to be writing about, you can type it into the search here. And we actually have a partnership with SEMrush. So we're able to show the monthly search volume and the difficulty of topics that you're searching for your core topics. And you can use this to research core topics, or if you're curious in finding search information for a subtopic, you can use it here as well. So let's say I am a small business that offers, this is a silly example, but let's say that I provide office plants for home offices. So if I wanted to talk about office plants, very broad topic, but just for the purpose of the demo, I would go ahead and search it, and I could see the monthly search volume and the difficulty here. So in general, you want to, for a core topic, try to find a core topic that probably has some number of monthly search volume. What I usually say, not a hard rule of thumb, is 300 or more. And the difficulty is a gauge for how difficult it will be to rank based on competition for this. So when I want to go ahead and create my topic cluster, I can click Create Topic, and I will be taken into the topic cluster builder. Now, I will go back here and just open up a different topic cluster that's already built out so that I can show you some of the features. So this is a topic cluster for a travel business that offers tours and guides, and basically like a travel agency that helps you get settled into Boston. And so their topic cluster is going to be centered around that. Around this core topic for things to do in Boston, you'll have your pillar page, which is usually some sort of ultimate guide or, comprehensive guide to some topic. I will have my subtopic content linked. And so if you click on any of these subtopics that I've added, you'll see that you can link blog posts or other content to your pillar page. And with these lines, red or green, we'll be able to check the internal linking structure. So ideally, you want to have all of your subtopic content linking to your pillar page to create signals to Google that you're an authority on that topic. And so this tool can help you better visualize if your links are actually set up correctly. So this tool really is a helpful framework. It is a helpful visualization guide to help you ensure that you have topical coverage on the keywords and topics that you want to be known for, and be able to see how things are linking together. So that is a basic overview of the topic clusters tool. Again, if you integrate Google Search Console, you'll have some extra tools here. So for example, we pull search query information from Google Search Console. So if you have your GSC account connected, you'll be able to see what people are searching for to land on your page. Awesome. So now that you've seen topic clusters, I will just give a segue into AI. So topic clusters also offers some ML capabilities. If you have related content in your portal, we'll be able to detect using our machine learning algorithm if the content might potentially be a good fit for your topic cluster. And so if there are any suggestions available, you'll be able to see them in the 0 here. Or if you're adding in a topic or choosing content for a topic, if you start to type in subtopic content, you'll see suggested content here to help you build your topic clusters even more efficiently and quickly. All right, so now that we have talked about some of the baseline SEO strategies that are important to succeed, and we've gotten a little taste of AI for SEO, I'm now going to give a more in-depth introduction to generative AI and how generative AI can aid in your SEO efforts, how we can add that into the mix. So generative AI is one of many types of AI. But for the purpose of this conversation today, I'm going to be focusing specifically on generative AI and large language models. I'm sure that you've heard all about Gen AI by now. This is the type of intelligence behind ChatGPT, Bard, Llama, and other popular models that you might be seeing in the news. So let's demystify it a little bit. It can seem like magic, but it's not. It's actually a type of intelligence that processes massive amounts of data and then learns to generate new data based on patterns that it recognizes in its data set. And this data set that it's training on is huge. I'm talking in the scale of billions of sites, billions of pieces of content that it's learning from. And generative AI can be used for many purposes, particularly the creation of images, the creation of text, video, audio, and it can be an awesome brainstorming partner for you as well. And generative AI is exploding in popularity right now. ChatGPT became the fastest growing product of all time with 100 million users in 2 months. Just for comparison, it took Instagram 2.5 years to get that many. And analysts also predict that AI will add $15.7 trillion to the world economy by the end of this year. And finally, there are a lot of investments going into this space from startups and large companies alike. OpenAI recently received a $10 billion investment from Microsoft in January. And that's only OpenAI. There are thousands of startups and other products that are starting to spring up as well. So it's clear that generative AI and large language models are becoming an essential tool for businesses of all sizes, driving innovation and improving efficiency across industries. And SEO and content marketing is no exception. There's a reason for the popularity, and that is there are a lot of benefits of using generative AI in your work, in marketing or in other functions. So generative AI can help you improve your efficiency, largely in the area of brainstorming and content production. It can also help you find resources and starting points so that when you are creating, you're not totally starting from scratch. Generative AI can also summarize text, edit it, and correct grammar, and overall improve the quality of the writing that you're putting out. And quality is one of the biggest signals that Google takes into account when ranking content. It can also ensure the consistency of your content as well, and making sure that you're using consistent language across pieces. And generative AI can also help you get unstuck when you're having major writer's block or if you're unsure of how to get started with your content. So I'm going to talk a little bit about more specific use cases getting in the weeds with SEO, but let's start by level setting about the major things generative AI can and cannot do as it pertains to SEO. So generative AI for SEO can help you brainstorm topics and keywords. So when Adam was chatting about topic clusters, he mentioned that one of the first steps is going to be identifying the keywords and the topics that you're going to be writing about. And generative AI can be a great thought partner to help you do that. Generative AI can also help with lightweight competitor research. So if you ask, what are competitors in my industry, what are some topics that they might be writing about, it can help you brainstorm that too. It can also help you with technical SEO, and we'll have a whole section on on-page SEO and how it can help you with that. And it can help you with actually writing and scaffolding out your content when you're creating for SEO. But it's not a silver bullet. It can't do everything as much as we wish that it could. So GPT for SEO cannot give accurate SERP or keyword data unless it is specifically integrated with a keyword data provider, and ChatSpot and HubSpot's tool actually are. But if you take a look at the example that I have here, if you ask it to give you SERP data, it will make SERP data up that looks real, but it actually is not based on anything. ChatGPT is really good at predicting what you want to see. So don't fall into the trap of using it for keyword research. GPT for SEO also cannot always ensure factual accuracy. So most of the time, generally, the facts and information that you get from generative AI will be accurate due to the enormous number of parameters the models are trained on. However, if you ask the model for information before or after 2021, which is when it was trained, or if you ask it about a topic that it doesn't know about, it might just make up information that simply looks correct. And the term used is actually the model will hallucinate. So you should always fact check any facts that are given to you by AI before you publish them. And last, GPT for SEO cannot actually crawl SERPs or links. So if you send a link into ChatGPT and you say, analyze this page for SEO, it can't do that. It might pretend that it can, but it can't. So keep that in mind when you're using GPT for SEO. So let's get a little bit deeper now and talk about specific ways that you can use generative AI for content creation and content strategy. There is a six-step methodology that I like to talk about for using generative AI in tandem with an SEO tool for keyword research to go from topic discovery into blog post creation. And so in these 6 steps, you can use generative AI to understand the questions that your target audience might have to help you choose your starting core topics and subtopics. You can then use generative AI to distill those questions down into keywords or topics that you can more easily look up on number 3 with a keyword research tool. So once you have sort of these list of starting ideas from generative AI, you can cross-reference them with SEMrush or Moz or any other keyword research tool that is your preference, and actually see what the search volume and the difficulty and all of the other metrics look like for that topic. See if it's actually going to drive volume or if it's actually of interest or attainable for you to write about. After you have done some cross-checking with your keyword research tool of choice, you can go back to generative AI and use it to help you actually brainstorm post ideas for that keyword. So it can help you generate a list of 10 or 20 titles to choose from so that you can choose the one that's the best. From the title step, it can also help you generate an outline of your post. So if you're not sure exactly how to structure it, if you're staring at a blank page, it can help you think about subsections or subtopics that you can actually cover. And finally, generative AI can actually write entire blog posts. Now, I say this with a huge asterisk because I would say co-creating blog posts with AI is co-creation. I like to say that this is a good starting point so that you have something on the page, but it's always important to add your own anecdotes, your own subject matter expertise, your own statistics and references as well. So use it as a starting point, but don't just go ahead and press publish, especially because you want to ensure that your content is factually accurate. So I'm going to do a few prompt template examples for the first two steps. Content ideas and topic research is the first one that I talked about. So if you are trying to determine your product keywords and you're trying to brainstorm what you might want to make product topic clusters about, some of the questions you might be asking yourself are, what are some questions and concerns that my target audience might have when they're researching solutions for my industry or my product or solution? And so one prompt that you can give to ChatGPT is that exact question. You can phrase it exactly like that and plug in, the details about your specific business. And then it will come back with a list of examples. So in this example here, I am a website design agency, and I want to know what my target audience might be wondering when they're thinking about a website migration or a redesign. And so it gives me some ideas. They might be thinking about the timeline for building the website. They might be thinking about SEO or how much it will cost. And so I can use this as a starting point for myself. And on the next step, you can take this one step further and you can conversationally ask ChatGPT, okay, now I want you to take all of those 10 questions that you just asked and turn them into specific SEO keywords that I might want to rank for on Google. So it will give these back to you. And then you can go into the next step, which is actually cross-referencing with your keyword tool and deciding which ones you actually want to go for, which ones might make good core topics or which ones might make good subtopics. Now, before I go on, I could go through all of the 6 steps, but really the process is going to be kind of the same for each one when you're interfacing with ChatGPT. So I actually want to pause here and start to show you some of the AI for content strategy and creation tools that we have in beta right now in HubSpot, especially because HubSpot has automated a lot of these steps so that you can do them seamlessly inside of HubSpot without going to ChatGPT. So without further...
Yeah, Amanda, I was just going to say, while you're doing that, one thing the ChatGPT users might have discovered is ChatGPT forum plugins.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're looking at the plugins, because I'm a real fan of one called Web Pilots, which when you're asking ChatGPT to do something, you put the URL of a particular page in, and you are, as far as I'm aware, it is essentially going to crawl that page. So this is these new plugins you should keep an eye on. So when I'm doing research on a company, I'm able to type the URL of the company and ChatGPT will then give me answers to questions based on the company's own content, which I guess would have applications here as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Adam. So I should definitely amend my statement and say that while ChatGPT by itself can't provide keyword research data, can't crawl the web, it did introduce plugins. And so depending on the plugins that you're using, it's possible that the plugin will be able to sort of fill in some of that missing functionality. So if you would like to use ChatGPT in an augmented way, you can definitely look into plugins. And the tools like HubSpot or ChatSpot that do have keyword research built in offer in a similar way, where it's ChatGPT plus some added functionality. All right, so now I'm going to show you the new AI blog post generator tool, which is currently in private beta inside of HubSpot. So if you generate a blog post from the control center, this is the list of blogs in HubSpot under website and blog, you'll see this new button once you're added to the beta. So you'll go ahead and click on it, and you'll see an interface that walks through a few steps. And this is pretty similar to the methodology I just talked about. You're going to start off with an idea of what you might want help writing about. So I will continue with my theme of being a travel agency in Boston, writing for a blog, Bored in Boston. And let's say I want to think about Boston activities that I might want to write a blog post about. So on this step, you will type in just an idea, phrase, something that you might be interested in blogging about or interested in exploring further. You'll select the country of your target audience. And then if you have multiple blogs, you can choose the one that you want to choose to save to. So on the next step, we will actually generate using a mixture of AI and our integration with SEMrush, potential blog titles and potential keywords that you might want to write about. So the ultimate guide to shopping in Boston, for example, we have the monthly search volume for the keyword shopping in Boston, as well as the difficulty to rank. And we'll provide other ideas as well. Coffee shops in Boston, historical sites in Boston, etc. And if you're not quite satisfied with the titles, but you're interested in the keyword, you can generate more and we'll come up with additional title options. So let's say I want to talk about the best coffee shops in Boston. When I go on to the next page here, I have the ability to edit an outline that is generated by AI that is already optimized for my target keyword. So I can edit the title of the blog post. I can modify the description. And this is what is used as sort of under the hood, the prompt to help generate the post. And I can customize the headers of my blog post. So the ones that were suggested here are the history of coffee, the must-visit shops, coffee lover's guide, etc. And if I don't like any of these, I can completely just get rid of them and rewrite them in myself, and AI will account for my preferences. So when I feel good about this starting point, I can generate a blog post, and after a few moments, it will deposit you directly in the HubSpot editor inside of the blog, where you will have a fully formed, fully written blog post that is formatted for SEO. So it will have an H1 tag, single H1 tag, and it will have a nice formatted site structure with heading 2s already formatted for you and all of your paragraphs written. Again, starting point, but definitely a step ahead of just starting from staring at a blank page here.
That's just insane, Amanda.
Thank you.
Can I just jump in here with a question that someone's asked, and I'm sure it's probably on everyone else's mind as well. And I'm going to say this, Amanda, because we're not experts in plagiarism.
Yeah,
we're not experts in is Google going to look at this content and say that it's AI generated, etc. I mean, my attitude to that is that. So the question is, can I repurpose content with ChatGPT and I guess with HubSpot and it not be penalized by Google? And I suppose my answer to that is that at the moment, there are people out there without AI that have been rewriting and plagiarizing things for a long time. So I guess I don't know what the definition of plagiarism is. I don't know what, but certainly with ourselves and our clients, when we're creating content aided by ChatGPT or now HubSpot, we're trying to start with something that's unique. We're trying to start with proof points or experiences or a point of view that's unique. And then we're using these tools to just articulate it, So I guess with this one here, if we were taking this, we would then do work on this. We would add links in, we would add unique points of view, we would add images, we would add things that made it our own. Do you have any thoughts on that, Amanda?
Yeah, I would echo everything that you said, Adam. The things that I might chime in are, like I said, AI generated text should always just be a jumping off point. And so I would definitely recommend adding in information and value that only you can provide, like personal anecdotes, action items, personal perspective, and all of those are things that will reduce the chances of plagiarism. Now, another thing that I'll add is because generative AI models aggregate massive amounts of text together, it's very unlikely that you'll plagiarize. The way that these models work isn't that they sort of crawl the web, pick out sentences, and then stick them into your post. They actually generate each word at a time based on what word they predict in the sentence will come next. So it's very unlikely that generative AI will produce exactly the same thing for multiple people, but it is still possible. So you should definitely check your work. And there are a lot of tools out there for plagiarism checking. And so another good practice when you're writing with AI is to run your content through a plagiarism checker just for peace of mind. And then to answer the question about whether or not Google penalizes AI generated content. They actually posted updated search guidance about AI generated content on their blog. And so I'd highly recommend checking out this full article that outlines Google's stance on AI generated content. The TLDR is that Google will reward high quality content however it is produced. So if you're using AI to produce bad content, Google will see that as bad content. If you're using AI as a tool to help you produce good content, it will be rewarded as good content. So AI is a tool. It isn't a total crutch that you should use to crank out content, but using AI itself as a tool will not cause Google to penalize you.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that helpful comment that I'm about to make, but I did see a very interesting demo where somebody wrote something with AI and then put it through an AI checker and the AI checker correctly said this was written by AI. And then the person went back to ChatGPT and said, rewrite this article so it can't be detected by an AI checker. And then he put it back through the AI checker and it said, this isn't AI written. It's the same kind of thinking that can write like an AI can also detect an AI. So I think the whole thing is very confusing. So I think that article is great, Amanda. Thank you.
No problem. And I'll answer one last question before I continue. And so one of the questions is actually going back to topic clusters. We use WordPress as our CMS. The topic cluster tool does support external links. So it will still check your links. You can still use the topic clusters tool and all of its functionality, even if you do not host your content in HubSpot. All right, so I will now keep going with the demo and show you a few more AI tricks that we have up our sleeve here at HubSpot. So once you are inside of the editor, you can write your blog post and continue to add in your keywords, optimize, write as you normally would. We also added these brand new slash and highlight commands into the editor. So let's say you want to refine the quality of this post or you want it to be more in line with your brand voice. If you click on this lightning bolt icon, you'll see a menu of options. And so you can use AI to expand on something if you want to be a little bit more verbose about a topic, but you're not sure what to say. You can shorten or rewrite, or you can even change the tone if you want what you've written to be a little bit more professional or a little bit more witty. So when you change the tone, you can have an option suggested for you by AI and then directly insert it into the post. Now, we will talk more about on-page SEO optimization in a little bit, but we have an optimized side menu here in HubSpot that has recommendations on how you can optimize your post for SEO. So let's say I had multiple H1 tags, we would be able to detect that and recommend that you change your site structure so that the hierarchy is clearer to crawlers. And some recommendations here, like meta description, for example, we've actually added click to fix functionality to make it even easier for you to optimize your pages for SEO. So this page is currently lacking a meta description, which is the description that shows up on search engines explaining to readers what your listing is about. If I click on this button here, you'll see there's a brand new lightning bolt meta description option here. And so what this does is it actually looks at all of the content of your post and it summarizes it into a meta description for you. So what you would do is basically make sure this includes your topic or your target keyword, make sure that it is, within the recommended limit, and then you have a meta description ready to go. And we generate a title for you from the AI blog post generator. But even if you are writing a blog post from scratch, we have the ability to generate a title using AI as well. And finally, not directly impacting SEO, but one thing that is, a strong signal to Google is the quality of the page and the utility. And so for increasing your user engagement, it's usually good to have some kind of text or videos inside of your posts to make it easier to read visually. So HubSpot actually also added AI to generate images. And this is a slightly different type of generative AI than we talked about before. These are image generation models. And the ones that we use are DALL-E 2, which is the one that was made by OpenAI. And so let's say I wanted an image of a latte sitting on a table. I can choose a style that's either dictated by AI or from a list of predetermined styles that we have here. And you can generate images, and we will give you 4 options. So from the images that you see generated by AI, you can save as many of them as you want into your file manager. And so then you'll be able to use them anywhere that you use files inside of HubSpot. So I actually think that all of these are pretty good. So I'm going to save them to my files. For the purposes of this post, I'm going to add in this one. And now I have a beautiful image of a latte with gorgeous latte art generated by AI for me. So the last tool that I will show you for AI demos is ChatSpot, which many of you may have heard. And so inside of ChatSpot, for those of you who are not hosting your content inside of HubSpot, which is one of the questions that I saw in the chat, you can also generate blog posts and do keyword research from inside of ChatSpot. And ChatSpot can be used whether or not you have a HubSpot portal at all. So inside of ChatSpot, you have a blog post generator that's very similar, where you can enter in information and a topic and a call to action, and it will generate a post for you. And ChatSpot has the ability to copy the text, so you can paste it into WordPress, into a Google Doc, or wherever you write your content. ChatSpot also has these templates for conducting keyword research, and they also integrate with and partner with SEMrush to pull keyword data. So if I wanted to research my keyword activities for coffee shops in Boston, I can send it to ChatSpot, and it will come back with a list of keywords for me that I can look at, and from there better refine the exact variation of the keyword that I want to use. So it might take a second to load since it is calling to SEMrush and getting all of the awesome data for you. But here we have, it looks like actually a lot of these keywords don't have search volume or cost per click information. This might just be that I need a shorter tail keyword. But nonetheless, this is a tool that you can use to aid in your keyword research. All right, so let's wrap up. And I already talked a little bit about on-page optimizations. One thing I will go back and say is, again, if you don't have HubSpot, you can use ChatGPT or ChatSpot and a prompt to generate an SEO optimized meta description. You can paste in the contents of your blog post and ask it to summarize it into a meta description, or you can just ask for a meta description related to your topic. And you can do the same thing for titles as well. Now, one other thing that you can do is you can actually use generative AI to help you with your schema markup. So schema markup is code that goes into your page, and it allows Google to showcase your results on the first page of Google as a featured result. So if you search on Google, you may see that not all of the results are just pages. You might see a carousel of images. You might see like a recipe carousel or blog posts. And schema markup, this is a code snippet that allows pages to be ranked as those types of results. So if you are not a coder and looking at this frightens you, what you can do is you can use ChatGPT to help you create JSON-LD schema for a specific content type. So if you have a recipe or a blog article, and you can also ask it to tell you exactly which fields you need to fill into the blank so that you can build your schema. After this, because we know that ChatGPT can hallucinate, just run it through a schema validation tool. There are a lot of free ones out there to make sure it's valid, and just paste it into the head HTML or HTML of your page. All right. Now, I'll turn it over to Adam quickly for this slide.
Yeah, thanks, Amanda. That's really, really interesting and amazing stuff that's coming out as usual with HubSpot. This is like, I just saw this the other day because we also use Ahrefs for some of our clients, but it makes sense, doesn't it? 2 low-ranking pages about a particular topic. If you put that into one page and build out that page and make it bigger, that's going to be more valuable than 2 smaller ones. So that was just something that we started doing, and we're also seeing results on that. Amanda, we have loads of questions. Should we wait to the end for those, or?
Let's see. I mean, I think that we actually pretty much are at the end. So maybe we can wrap up the takeaways and transition into Q&A.
Perfect. I'll just come back in here for the takeaways and say thank you to our 2 great speakers. I certainly learned something as well, so it was terrific. A few of the key takeaways, as Adam kind of went into, don't forget to focus on content, particularly as a startup, even starting small and iterating as you go. Use data to inform your content clusters. So go back to that those cluster topics. You should also invest in pillar pages, blogs, as well as product pages. So really diversify the type of content you're creating. And last but not least, optimize pages as you go, and you can use HubSpot to do that as well. So if you just want to click to the next slide as well, just before you wrap up for Q&A. So as you can see, my team, HubSpot for Startups, have partnered with BBT Boom for this webinar with the brilliant Adam. BBT Boom have, of course, been through this SEO journey themselves. They've also helped lots of different clients from different sectors with their sales and marketing needs as well. So if you do want a free consultation on any topics on SEO and marketing with HubSpot from a specialist, you can contact Adam there, and his email address is listed. So we might just jump into a few of the questions. I know, Amanda, you're starting to answer that one there if you want to answer it live, but there's one here that's saying, I've been using some of the Gen AI tools within HubSpot, but wanted to ask if there's any AI tools to optimize campaigns as a whole rather than just that on-page content we discussed.
Yes, I was just typing an answer to this question, so this is very timely. So there are 2 tools that I would recommend checking out. The first is we now have a free micro app called Campaign Assistant. And so you can use Campaign Assistant to scaffold entire campaigns. The types of assets you can create using AI, using Campaign Assistant, are landing pages, emails, and ads. And like with ChatSpot, you can either copy the text for the landing pages and ads, or you can just click to create them right in HubSpot. So this will work whether you are creating your landing pages in HubSpot or WordPress or whatever your CMS of choice is. Now, if you're talking about optimizing across assets, not just on page, on one specific page, we also have a site-wide SEO scan tool that can detect issues across your whole site. This tool is available in professional and enterprise marketing and CMS, and it allows you to scan either a HubSpot hosted or non-HubSpot hosted external site. So you'll type in your URL and it will scan the domain. All of the pages will be crawled, and we will generate recommendations for you on how to optimize for SEO. So you can either see all of the categories of issues and then click to see the individual pages that need to be fixed. Or we have this new view where you can see all of the pages on your site and sort by the ones that have the most recommendations and start there first.
Nice, thank you, Amanda. So I think we were answering a good few of the questions as we went, which is great. There was the one on if someone uses WordPress rather than HubSpot, but I think you already answered that based on you can still use ChatSpot to build out that AI generated content. Was there any more color you want to add to that question, or I think we've covered it? There was a couple on WordPress.
Yeah, I think we covered that one.
Cool. Perfect. Then I think that's it for questions. As I said, we were kind of answering them as we went, but
Anna, can I ask Amanda a question?
Yeah, go for it.
I was going to ask 2 things really. What's coming up around the corner that you can roughly tell us about? And also with the some of my team have been playing with the ChatSpot report interface. So kind of maybe relates to one of those questions we had about like looking at campaigns generally. So I think the ChatSpot, you can just basically ask it a question about you know, campaign performance, SEO performance, lead generation. Is that right?
Yes. So ChatSpot, when it's integrated with your HubSpot CRM, can retrieve data from HubSpot and make deductions about it. So you can use ChatSpot to create reports. For example, if I want to create a report of deals closing soon, or if I want it to show me web traffic information, it can also give you I'm actually not sure if it's integrated with campaign analytics right now, to be honest. But most things like contacts, deals, web analytics, it is integrated with. And so if you ask it a question using natural language, it will be able to pull the information for you from there and analyze it.
That's amazing. I'm sort of thinking that whilst this is all scary, this is even more scary for the people that don't use HubSpot because we're all just going to become even better marketeers, aren't we?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, if there's nothing else, Adam or Amanda, we might just wrap up. Good. Very well. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We will be sending the recording tomorrow, so you can check that out if you want to look back at some of this and figure out what practices you want to implement in your own business. So yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Bye.
Take care.